Good evening, ladies and genticles. Penny Wrights here, giving you the spooks and scares of the season. And for this spooky season, we look at the baddies that shocked us, scared us, and made us geek out in excitement. But for all the villains we've had this series, you would think for a little kid show there would be more peace and hugging it out and not... Guys, I think the rating system for this show is broken. But it does make me wonder, what exactly is the criteria for becoming a reformed villain? What makes characters like Discord, Starlight, the Changelings, and others easier to forgive? Well, we'll be taking a look at my own list of qualities that make you, yes you, redeemable to the masses, no matter how many sins you commit.
It's time to try a better way to be bad. Do we really need a better way to be bad?
Now, this mostly relates to at least antagonists and villains we've seen more than once, not to mention all the villains from season premieres and finales. And I'm not counting random animals like parasprites, vampire bats, the plants Discord planted, Michigan weather, or even the smooths. They've caused problems, but they're not that conscious to know any better. So let's get started with an easy one. Level of badness. So since we're looking at antagonists and not just villains, what's the difference? Answer, the range of people affected by them. Usually for antagonists, they're related strongly to maybe one or two people. Gilda against Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie, Trixie against Twilight, Garble against Spike, etc. At least with a few of them, they've had another episode where they were redeemed and basically moved to the background. I mean, had Diamond Tiara really have any important role in the show after the CMC got their cutie marks and she had her big revelation about what she's meant to do? We also have our mid-tier villains who aren't really bad, but not really well liked by most. This would include the Flim Flam Brothers, Lightning Dust, Trixie, Iron Will, and of course,
Discord, I'm howling out the moon and sleeping in the middle of a summer afternoon.
Yeah, that guy. So these are villains who, whether they're villains or not, just cross the main six and sometimes the townspeople in the wrong way. They're not doing necessarily anything evil, but they do cause trouble for the sake of a profit most of the time. Challenging the literal founder and family of Ponyville to a cider making contest, running a daredevil group and involving a child in dangerous stunts, scamming the royal family into being attractions for your cruise ship. Yeah, nothing that's just barely legal is up for grabs. They're basically the big business bad guys and COOs that we usually think of. I'll give credit to the Flim and Flam brothers who were so money hungry that during the cutie remark, they actually had an alternate timeline where they just destroyed nature. Probably to build a mall or something. At this point, just have them work with hexes from Fern Gully. At least with Discord, it's more so his personality that rubs people the wrong way. He can be obnoxious and rude and not know the proper way of expressing his feelings, but he at least isn't trying to change the world anymore. Just bug the main six whenever he's bored. Trixie also falls in with a bit of that annoying obnoxiousness that's not really hurting anyone, just can't take it. With Starlight Glimmer, she kinda became a villain. Because of different ideologies and a magic map, Starlight's village turned against her and vowed revenge to the point of even stalking Twilight in random episodes. She mostly had issues directly with Twilight, and her motive was more on revenge against her and her friends. It just so happened to lead to war, mass destruction, mass chaos, and more war. This brings us to our super Machiavelli, bigger than life and ego to match villains of the seasons. The ones that are meant for world domination and conquest. And one of those just so happened to be a Pegasus child who looks younger than the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Look, it's Halloween, okay? Who says kids can't be evil? If you need to know which ones are beyond help, just know they're probably not with us anymore. Seriously, I'm very close to doing a kill count for this series. Next trait, talk no jutsu. So for all my anime weebs out there, they know this term very well. Talk no jutsu is basically how our main character, mostly Twilight, can sit the villain down to make them see the light of their errors. So moments like Starlight Glimmer for Season 5's finale, the Pony of Shadows for Season 7, the Changelings for Season 6, and the entirety of Keep Calm and Flutter On. A lot of the minor antagonists also have either been talked down to being good through memories or just by being outsmarted by the main character. Talk no jutsu can also be used in cases of possession, like for Nightmare Moon and the Pony of Shadows. I talked about this more in my last Nightmare Night video about Luna not really turning evil, but being possessed by it and using the elements of harmony as a way of exorcism. Stygian at least had both the elements trying to exorcise the darkness.
I'm casting magic missile.
Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
While also getting a talking to by Twilight and Starlight. I won't lie, I'm not the only one who's tired of the whole being zapped into good idea. An idea I'm pretty sure not even Celestia wanted to do for Discord, but somehow wanted to give him the chance to change. But that just leads to our third trait. Use in society. So this was always on my mind whenever certain characters could be forgiven or completely eliminated. It just comes down to their use in society in the long run, depending on their standing, skills, and most importantly, trust. So let's use a very common example of this as seen in Second Prances. Why is it that the character who's used powerful magic to change the fabric of time and space for petty revenge was given a chance of full-on forgiveness than a character we've seen use powerful magic to dominate a small town and enslave its citizens and defeating our main character? Although Trixie had powerful magic, it was all from the Alicorn amulet. That was also corrupting her behavior. Without the amulet, Trixie is just...
be a self-absorbed, below-average illusionist.
Huh. Spot on, Pony Sonic. Unfortunately, as much popularity Trixie has gotten over the years, no idea why, she can't exceed the magical ability she has. She's a magician and illusionist, while Starlight's power is on par with an Alicorn who's also studied magic just as long as she has. Twilight was so evenly matched with Starlight, she kind of had no choice but to talk her down. Now, in terms of danger, I can see why Twilight has her issues with Trixie and Starlight being close. Starlight has a warped idea of friendship since the beginning and may or may not know social interactions that can lead to her making mistakes, which she has messed up on countless times. While on the other hand, you have someone who has a personal vendetta against Twilight that has led to her career and magic being questionable to the point of getting a part-time job. And the moment she gets something powerful, her first thing to do was to come back to Ponyville, embarrass you with a magic duel, and kick you out while reigning over this small town and its citizens. Even for Ghostbusters, she was dazzling and self-absorbed enough to influence two young and dumb kids into mischief.
Self-absorbed?
Yes, self-absorbed. Anyway, and believe me, I don't want to advocate for everything Twilight did in Second Prances, but I can see how Twilight could have been concerned about, I don't know, her powerful unicorn student learning about friendship and can possibly be manipulated into doing misdeeds in the name of friendship at the hands of Trixie, who hates her. In short, you have a 10-year-old with a flamethrower and the one teaching him how to use it is a convicted arsonist. And let me just say this. All of Second Prances was not Twilight's fault fully. You know who she really learned this from? Let me explain. The reason why I had this category on my list was due to something Celestia said during Keep Calm and Flutter On.
But I have use for Discord's magic if it can be reformed to serve good instead of evil. This is why I've brought Discord here, because I believe that you are the ponies who can help him do just that.
The thing is, I think this was a skillful and tactical move on Celestia's part. For reformed villains, we seem to need people of high caliber magic, high numbers, or high intelligence. There was more use in their reformation than any other villain. So what about our forever villains? How come they didn't get the cut? For Tirek, his strength and power only came from absorbing others' magic. A powerhouse, yes, but a riskier one if he lets all that power get to him, especially when he's so weak without it. Chrysalis only had the numbers game, and when she didn't play ball like the rest of the hive, there was no reason to keep her around. Sombra's main power was... I guess crystal magic? Being the smoke monster from Lost? From what we've seen, at least in the alternate timeline, he knew a lot of dark magic and enough of it to brainwash crystal ponies into soldiers. Again, not really useful in society, especially when there's already royalty living in the Crystal Empire. The Storm King was also only good with numbers and kind of a lazy tyrant of a villain. With having others do the fighting and aggressive work, he kind of just goofed off with the staff. We forgave Tempest, though.
Actually, that's not my real name.
Ooh, what is it?
It's Fizzle Pop Berry Twist.
Yeah, that sounds like a real villain name. Aww. Cozy Glow could have had time to relearn what friendship is while she was still young, but her mind was already too twisted to know what friendship was supposed to be, and probably would have made a really messed up politician. Her cutie mark is a chess piece. Manipulative, deceiving, thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone. And seeing as all she needed was the help of a red devil in hell who almost got her to rule over Equestria, I don't think there was anything helping her case. And just so we make this completely fair, let's toss in a bonus trait for our dimensional neighbors with Equestria Girls. What trait can be used for all the villains we've had in the human world? You're a teenage human, and you're not the police. Yeah, as epic and interesting some fights are in Equestria Girls, everything is usually solved by just taking away the magic MacGuffin and some talk no jutsu. After that, no cops are called, no damage that can be fixed, and we're somehow friends with them after all it's done. And hey, maybe the Humane Six will help you with whatever was troubling them, like saving the camp you were trying to trap people in. It's really odd how the Equestria Girls movies and specials can get just as soft and cuddly as past generations of My Little Pony. Sure, there's some flashy animation, but everything just comes down to talking it out. Seriously, am I watching My Little Pony or the Care Bears? So if you don't want to end up turned to stone, disintegrated, or lip-syncing at music festivals while living in a van, be good and have a happy Nightmare Night, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, and Halloween. Few more festivals and we might be on Ponyville's level. By the way, Pony Sonic, why didn't you dress up for Nightmare Night? Okay. As what, though?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
I think it's time for you to go back home now.